Okay, we quite often get the question about creative and creative for ad programs. What should I create for my creative? What do you need for a creative? What should the creative be? This is the most general questions that we get. There's a lot more specifics around that. So, wanted to talk a little bit about how we approach the creative funnel and what our philosophy is with creative and where it can be used at different parts of the funnel and at different um, within different platforms for different purposes. So I'm going to kick this to you, Dustin, but let's talk about so in general, the way we approach creative is looking at it from a marketing funnel perspective in the messaging to the consumer based on where they are in the process of getting to know you. And it's a classic marketing funnel of awareness, interest, desire, and then action, conversion. The messages at these different parts of the funnel should be different because a customer is in a different relationship with you depending on how much information they have on you. It's kind of like a dating process. At first, you're getting general background information about someone, then you're diving more deeply into their finances and their other dating situations and their family, etc. So it's a whole process of information release. You don't want to go straight from I have no idea who you are to hey, will you buy from me? It's a process. So again, awareness, interest, desire, and then action. So kick it over to you, Dustin, for um, the top of the funnel. And if you want to dive even further down into the middle of the funnel with interest and desire, go ahead. What kind of creative should clients create for these different stages of the marketing funnel?
Yeah, I love how you mentioned it's similar to like dating, and to me this is like having a conversation. And first and foremost, people need to be aware of who you are and what you offer and what problem you solve. So the creative should resemble some sort of big pain point that you resolve. It shouldn't be buy from us, have some sort of offer, which is what 95% of advertisers or brands do. But more so, just tell the world, get in front of people, and let them know, hey, this is an issue. If you have it, this is how we solve it, and this is the outcome that you can expect. Get them feeling what it would feel like to experience that outcome. Get them aware. Then, as they engage, and whether it's video, static photos, and people are commenting. Once you have an engagement, then you get them down to interest, where you're really highlighting that outcome that someone should expect. Get them seeing other people that look and I guess sound and basically look like them in terms of different reviews, testimonials, show people actually using the product or service. But this is where you start showing others using the product or service that gets them interested and start desiring the actual product or service.
Mm.
Kind of stop there.
Yeah, I love that. I think basically introducing yourself, why work with you, making sure you're finding the right product market fit with the intended customer, and then social proof and or any kind of proof from there is uh, specifically what we talk about as a second touch point a lot of times. Um, Alex Hormozi talks about proof, proof, proof. All ads or 90% ads should be proof. This is the point at which it's proof. Somebody knows you, they're aware of you. Hey, it looks pretty good. What are the proof points that you're going to show me now? So that could be reviews, right? That could be client testimonials, video or photography, still, copy, whatever. And what's the other one I'm missing? Reviews, testimonials. I feel like I'm missing third
I think
one.
a lot of people don't leverage their own internal data in terms of how many more people are buying, how much more engagement are people having. how many more repeat transactions are happening? I think there's a lot of storytelling that you can do with your own data. I mean, more times than not, when we're talking to people, you know, look at this event that we had, we did XYZ, or look what we've done over the last year. We'll talk about it, and people pound their chest in these meetings. But to me, that's great storytelling, and that creates the desire. If the company is growing or people are transacting a lot, and you tell that story through data, that gets people, wanting the product or service. And you don't have to reach out to people and try and get testimonials and all of that from them. So I think it's a good starting point that isn't leveraged a whole lot.
Could you give an example of that? Like, what do you mean by internal data specifically? Do you have a specific example?
Yeah, so a client that we're kind of working with now, doing an audit, part of the creative is building trust, and what they want to do is build trust. And so they work with big brands. They work with those big brands, do a lot. So there's a lot of impressions, there's a lot of engagement. So part of what they could highlight is, because they have a lot of clients, add up all the impressions and highlight over the last year, here's how many impressions we've served for our clients. It'll be in the billions or hundreds of millions, or it'll be a very big number, but that internal data, now someone seeing it, it's a lot more than 10,000 impressions or a couple 100,000 impressions. So that right there is an internal data point that someone can interpret as, oh, you must work with a lot of clients, big clients, whatever it is. The receiving end on it is building trust. Yeah. Same with new clients that we've gotten, or engagement, video views, whatever it is.
Yeah, no, totally. Data that supports the legitimacy of the organization, right? Like a expansive piece of data that shows that they are obviously a going concern and a big deal, quote unquote. So yeah, one other one that I thought of too that I didn't say earlier is user-generated content. If you have it from your socials, we have a client who had a great piece of user-generated content that was also a testimonial, right? So they didn't have to go and create that. Somebody created it for them, pull that in, obviously get permission from that person or those people. And that instantly does two things. That shows you that you have legitimate customers and they're into it, and you're getting a review and a testimonial at the same time. It's not from your mouth, it's from a customer's mouth. So that's, if possible, to pull that in at this stage at the interest and desire point. That's a great piece of social proof. That's a specific way to introduce that creative into the funnel.
I love that you mentioned that it's someone else saying it. Pretty much every small business will say word of mouth does best for me, which I agree 100%. And so it's like, if you're getting a lot of word of mouth, use digital to amplify it. I think a lot of times people will say, well, digital doesn't work for me, only word of mouth does. Cool. Well, let's use digital to amplify the word of mouth and 10x the lead volume that's coming in or whatever. Just all your ad efforts are just amplifying other people saying good things, and it'll create curiosity that gets people to come in and try the product. And as long as you're delivering a good product or service, they'll be back and be a raving fan.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that. And then lastly seems sometimes like a duh to us, or a no shit, but basically the call to action. So actually, once someone now knows you, they trust you, ask them what you want them to do. That could either be in an ad or a piece of creative itself, or within one of these interest and desire creatives also. If you feel like you've done the job to build desire already, you can build the call to action within those ads. Or once they've watched a YouTube video or read your testimonials or read your reviews, then you can serve the call to action creative, which is either just a call to action, hey, set up a phone call, make a purchase, whatever, or tack onto that a deal, some kind of transactional deal within that creative. So you incentivize them, you get them to cross the finish line, and they're going to do that. So this is usually pretty straightforward as far as the creative itself goes. It's a call to action, it's a deal, it's a click to do whatever you're going to do and whatever that is. And again, that can be folded in with some of the middle of the funnel creative, or it can be its own creative within itself. Usually not that complicated, could easily be copy and or photography, or just something created in Canva with a simple background and a call to action. So I don't know if you wanted to add anything, bolt anything onto that, but it is important to mention that you need a call to action and you need something, the idea of what you're trying to get people to do. We're surprised quite often at the lack of that last part, which is actually tell people what to do.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head, and that's an offer. A lot of people say buy now, and I do want to vocalize that an offer isn't just 20% off and discounting. An offer could literally be, shirt starting at $29.99. There's an offer. There's a shirt. There's a tangible thing and a monetary value. There's a lot more things you could do to make it better. And if you're gonna try and make it better, I would say value add is much better than discounting. So give a free product if they purchase over a certain threshold, or give free shipping, or things like that, where you're giving them more product rather than discounting it. People don't get used to free, and now if they have more product or services that they're experiencing, they have a higher chance of coming back and purchasing more or leaving a review, which we've been talking about a lot. So just want to spend a little time on there that I feel everyone quickly goes to offers as discounts, and I would challenge to go the other end, and how can you value add?
Love it. I love that. The last thing I do want to talk about, which I think is really relevant because we get this question a lot, and it seems like a throwaway question, but is really important. A lot of times we get, well, should it be video or what should it be? So it's the format of the creative itself. And my answer to that, I want to hear your answer too, but my answer is what tells the story best? How can you most succinctly tell the story? And that's going to differ from product to product, service to service, etc. A lot of times a video obviously does tell the story better. That's why it does better. But if you have a product that can be captured in one piece of photography and someone gets it, the picture tells 1,000 words, or says 1,000 words. If you can do that, then do that. That's the shortest distance between 2 points. However, a lot of times a video is more effective in telling the story. So in summary, whatever tells the story the best, that's what you want to use. A lot of times video will tell the story the best, but don't just think you have to create a video. It might not be the case. So kicking over to you to format and your points of view on format itself.
Yeah, it's if you have the capabilities to do video, it works really well. I would say closer to the top of the funnel. Honestly, awareness might be great as a graphic because you can quickly articulate the problem and solution that you offer, where video, people might have to consume 15 seconds. So it takes a little bit more time for them to understand who you are and what you do. But that interest and desire stage, I think, is very critical to have video. One, it is more engaging. You can tell a story. But two, the audience building you can do from that in terms of targeting people that watched 100% of a 1-minute video, they're more inclined to buy, so you can retarget them and then serve them those action ads. So I think kind of right in the middle of the funnel is where it's at, and more so for audience building. You're not going to get tons of sales from it, but you're going to get those hand raisers that get them down, deliver an offer, and your conversion rate should be much stronger.
Awesome. Audience building is for next time. That's a whole, you just opened a can of worms that we will get into at some other point. But there you go on the creative front. We'll summarize and get some of those tidbits out.